Suspicions of witchcraft span throughout Europe and America predominantly during the 17th century. Today we will look at the ways in which a person was led to be accused and how they were found to be guilty of witchcraft, or indeed found innocent.
One of the most common testimonies used in the Salem witch trials was that of spectral evidence. The accuser would claim that they had seen the spirit or spectre of the accused committing out-of-body witchcraft whilst their physical body was in another location. This vision was often seen in dreams. Bridget Bishop, who was tried in Salem, was convicted primarily due to the spectral evidence held against her. Familiars accompanying the accused through spectral evidence was also common. Mary English of Salem was said to have appeared with a yellow bird on her breast.
As religion played such a significant role during the hysteria, it comes to no surprise that one way to identify whether someone was deemed to be practicing witchcraft was to read the Lord's Prayer. If the accused could read the Lord's Prayer with no imperfections, then they would be regarded as innocent, as it was believed that the devil would not allow his followers to recite the prayer correctly. This method was used in Salem at the trial of Bridget Bishop, and her failure to recite it correctly strengthened reasons to believe that she was in league with the devil.
A mark generally found on a concealed part of the body was considered as the physical representation used to verify the accused of having made a pact with the devil. This was named the devil's mark and was found more often on women than men. This led to paid work being available for witch prickers. Witch prickers marketed themselves by exploiting the idea of the devil's mark, and the profession relied on them discovering the mark by stripping the accused to reveal it, and claimed that when piercing the skin it would not bleed.
One of the more unusual ways to discover a witch during the Salem witch trials was used by Reverend Samuel Parris's slaves, Tituba and John Indian, but instigated by Mary Sibley, a member of the church. The idea was to bake an English cake recipe provided by Sibley, but infuse it with the urine of the children said to be afflicted. The cake would then be fed to their household dog. It was believed that dogs had a familiarity with the devil and would thus react by running to the witch, who was then deemed to be in allegiance with the devil.
Dunking an accused person was a method approved by King James and was understood as a way for God to be given the authority to judge and condemn. Holy water was added to the pond or stream before the accused were put to trial. The accused person would be bound and either placed on a balance beam or thrown into the water, and spectators would watch whether they sink or float. If the accused floated, it was believed that the holy water had rejected them and they were consequently identified as guilty and executed. If, however, the accused sank, it was believed that the holy water had identified their innocence. Unfortunately, this outcome also often led to people drowning to death.
Although not a legal practice, weighing an accused person against the Church Bible was still a method often accepted and used to indicate whether they were guilty of their crime. This method focused on the belief that witches were unusually light. If the accused person was heavier than the Bible, they would be freed as innocent, but if they were seen to be lighter, they would be condemned for witchcraft.
The ideas that we have explored today highlight the sheer extremes that societies throughout this period went to validate their beliefs. To the modern eye, looking at these methods may seem absurd and almost laughable, but the fact remains that these techniques and methods played a role that resulted in an estimated 40 to 50,000 people in Europe and North America losing their lives through a system that was often rigged against them from the start.